This program is part of the Cosmic Potato Podcast Network. For more shows like this, visit our website at cosmicpotato.com.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
I am Iron Man. That's a big twink.
Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds.
You are a toy!
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Why so serious?
The city's flying. We're fighting an army of robots. And I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
And welcome to World War G, episode 230. I'm Troy.
I'm AJ.
And I'm Colton.
We're back to full strength.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
We were at 66% power.
Yeah.
But now,
Now we're good.
shields are up. Sorry, guys. I have a really busy summer schedule.
It's all right. It's all good.
You and your social life.
You know, family and kids and all that. And
Responsibility. Who needs it, huh, Troy?
Well, I've worked it out so that the kids don't interfere with the podcast schedule anymore. But
yeah.
you guys know I have a family cabin that we go to a lot during the summer, and that just... It takes up a lot of time because my family expects me to go there. Especially, like last weekend was Raspberry Days.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty big weekend for Bear Lake in general.
You guys on the Utah or Idaho side?
Utah side.
Okay.
But it's kind of just a big family reunion every year.
Ah, those raspberry shakes. That's where it's at.
I know. We did get one. It was the first time I've had a raspberry shake there. Like, because I go up to Raspberry Days every year, but it's the first time I've had one in like 5 years. It's delicious.
I don't think I've ever been to Raspberry Days.
It's hectic.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been to any sort of days.
Peach days, cherry days, tomato days.
Tomato Days is actually really good.
The only thing would be like Pioneer Days, but that's because that's just right down, right down the road.
Yeah.
I don't have to travel far.
It's within sneezing distance.
Unlike the Pioneers.
Yeah.
Do you walk there?
No.
And sing as you walk.
Way to pay tribute.
I have walked there before.
Oh.
And I sang as I walk and walk and walk.
Well,
and walk.
I always imagined, or wondered what song they were actually singing while they walked, you know?
I don't know. I don't know the classic hits of the 1800s.
Well, if they were really upset with with them going and it being hot, and I imagine it's something like the Animaniacs. That one, are we there yet? Yeah. I'm tired. Got to use the potty. My nose is snotty. How far?
No, it's probably something more like from Family Guy, like left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of such classic Pioneer hits is left foot, right foot. Yeah. Let's just get right into this.
Yep.
The Purge 5. Sylvester Stallone is in talks with Jason Blum and the rest of the Blum house to produce and to be in on the 5th Purge movie, which we've already talked about this before. They milk it for everything it's worth.
Yes.
And they just need to let this franchise die.
Yeah, and you notice how it said that Sylvester Stallone said to also produce.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he can't just star in the film.
Mm-hmm.
He has to be a part of everything.
Right. Get your grubby paws out of... Well, not only that, as we already talked about, I think it was just last episode, where he's doing 2 more Rocky movies.
Yeah.
That's another franchise that won't die.
Rocky TV show.
So it's these people that won't let things die are teaming up together to make another movie.
Make something else, yeah. I just hope that Sylvester Stallone, because he pretty much has one gear, and that's action movie.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what he does.
And also talking like you had a stroke.
Which Which this franchise, it's kind of taken a more action approach with this last installment. It was straight up just an action movie. It went away from its, like, the premise initially was kind of cool. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Like, you know, kind of release the beast and let your anger out. And if you dare to go out in the streets, and even with the second installment, which was a little bit better than the first, you know, you actually get to see what's happening out on the streets.
Yeah.
But then after that, it just went like, you know, we got to save the president. And this one is just like, helping out other people. I don't know. It was that one scene in the last one where he blocks bullets with a like cushion, like a mattress. He grabs a mattress and like pulls it up, and it like stops a rocket, and they survive. And
Sure.
Yeah. I imagine in this movie though, if Sylvester Stallone is going to be in it, he's going to be one of these higher ups that kind of wants to see other people, you know, play and toy with other people.
See, now I could see Sylvester Stallone, because he likes doing this. He likes doing playing the average guy. Because, you know, all the average guys that look like Sylvester Stallone.
Right.
Who has to overcome something. So I could see him, like, he's got to protect probably his daughter out on the streets of probably Chicago.
Some of their friends. Yeah, like some of their friends, like, show up, and he's just like, I'll take you under my wing.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll protect you. It's the Purge. It's scary.
I watched the first Purge movie, and after that, I mean, it was a unique idea.
Yeah,
and you only need one movie for that kind of thing.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I liked the first one. I thought it was good,
and it was really good. But you don't need to do more. And I don't know. I guess like horrors and thrillers, they have such a low, like, their margins are really big because they don't cost much to make or produce. But I mean, if you're adding Sylvester Stallone and like bigger explosions and stuff like they have been doing for the last couple movies, I'm sure those margins are getting way thinner.
Yes. Yeah.
They still keep pushing them out.
Ugh.
Gosh.
Like a Catholic woman. Pushing them out.
I know.
Ooh, Catholic burn.
It's ironic because the name is Purge.
It's true.
Okay, so Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, you know, the creators of Shaun of the Dead, the kind of...
The only one I didn't like out of those ones is Paul. That one wasn't all that great.
I didn't mind Paul.
Some of the other ones were a lot better.
But these two together are geniuses of comedy.
Yes.
Their movies are so great, and they also are kind of serious, so it's not like go and shut your brain off type movies. Like, they have
they're pretty witty.
Yeah,
so you actually
the
have
story's
to be paying
actually
attention.
really good too.
It's that English sense of humor.
Yeah, so apparently this zombie fighting team is at it again. This time with their own Amazon original centered around ghost hunters. Simon Pegg and Nick Frost will star in a series called Truth Seekers. So Nick Frost is to play Gus, who is one half of a ghost hunting team. Their mission is to uncover and film paranormal sightings across the UK. They'll stake out haunted churches, underground bunkers, and abandoned hospitals, which are all the type of places you might find ghostly activity. The duo will use homemade ghost detectors and post videos to their online channel. It devolves into a story about uncovering a conspiracy that could threaten the entire human race.
I'm so glad to see that this is going to be a series and not just a movie.
Yeah.
You know, so it actually has more time to develop and you get better stories and characters.
Yeah.
And from the last Amazon original that we watched, it's probably going to be pretty dang good.
Yeah. They're going to give them a pretty decent budget and let them run with it.
Yeah. If Amazon Prime keeps doing what they are, they could give Netflix a run for their money.
Oh, for sure.
Original programming.
And especially considering it's already baked into the cost of Amazon Prime, which most people have anyways.
It's a pretty good deal in and of itself.
Yeah.
And apparently, from what I heard, The Boys is just racking up the views. I mean, it's become one of their most downloaded series ever.
They already had a season 2 like in the works before they even like aired the first season.
You did finish it though, right?
I did.
Yeah. Oh man, Such a good show. I kind of want to go back and watch it again.
Same.
Me too.
After you kind of like know what to expect and what's there, like it's still really interesting to see the progression and the development of these different characters.
Well, and that's the nice things that you can focus on through rewatches is things other than the story, and like you can appreciate more cinematography and like I don't know.
Yeah. I also did a little research and went back because I had to find out who Black Noir was in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
So I found out who he was.
Oh, really?
Who he is, yeah. It'd be a huge spoiler if I said anything, so I won't. But it's out there. You can go research it yourself if you want.
Okay. Maybe we'll talk about it in an end credit scene if we remember.
Maybe.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Excuse me. So, I think most people know who Danny Trejo is.
Badges? We don't need no stinking badges. Wait, that's not Danny Trejo.
That's not Danny Trejo.
No, that's from Bubble Boy, though. He says something like that in Bubble Boy.
He probably has.
Dang it.
He probably has, because, yeah.
I feel like an idiot now.
The machete guy?
Yes. Yeah, he's like the go-to Mexican thug, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he knows it, and he's fine with it.
He's embraced that.
Which is hilarious, because he's one of, like, the nicest guys.
He is. He's a super nice guy. He actually made a movie in Salt Lake. Just like some independent filmmaker called him up, basically, from Salt Lake. And said, hey, you want to come be in this movie? He was like, okay. Can't really pay you anything. Yeah, that's fine. He's just that kind of dude. He's a good guy, and this shows it. So one of Hollywood's best-known villains, Danny Trejo, came to the rescue of a baby that was trapped in an overturned vehicle in Los Angeles. It wasn't a stunt for an upcoming movie. It happened in real life on Wednesday. The actor jumped into action after witnessing two vehicles crash, causing one to roll over. The overturned vehicle that was sitting on its roof still had a baby strapped into the car seat inside.
Oh, wow.
Trejo said he tried crawling in through a broken window, but couldn't get the seatbelt unhooked. With the help of another bystander, Monica Jackson, they were able to free the child. Trejo said of the experience, said the only thing that saved the little kid was his car seat. Everything good that happened to me has happened as a direct result of helping someone else. So he said that's why he did it. Because he always wants to help people.
Okay, so this is even more impressive considering his advanced age. He is 75 years old.
Yeah.
Like, that's incredible that at his age he's just, all right, I'm going to jump up and try to save this person from a car.
He channeled that inner grandpa strength.
I'm 25.
That you hear so much about.
And I don't even want to do anything. Yeah. Where's my energy? I want Danny Trejo energy. It's probably drugs.
I have to admit that if I were to see a car accident like that, I don't think I'd jump into action.
No?
I'd be like, oh no, somebody should do something.
I think I definitely would. Ooh, guys, I saw the craziest thing the other day. This is totally off topic. I was driving home from work.
We never do that.
No.
I was driving home from work, and I was sitting at this stoplight on between, I think it was Grant and 24th Street, so like right by the junction.
Yeah.
And the light was about to turn green, but this guy comes running across the crosswalk to try to beat it. And there's two straight lanes, and I was in the left one. There was no one in the right one. And he comes running out in front of the car that was in front of me, and another car comes and hits him. Like,
really?
Yeah, I saw him flying through the air. It was the craziest thing. So I pulled over to the side of the road. I got 911 on the phone and waited for the paramedics to come. And he ended up standing up and walking away, but he was bleeding pretty bad, and
just walked away.
He didn't have any visible broken bones, but I'm sure he broke a couple ribs at least.
Some internal bleeding or something.
But yeah, he just went and sat on the side of the road, waited for the paramedics to get there. I didn't get out because there were like 5 other people that got out to help him, but yeah, it was crazy.
I've never seen somebody get hit. I've seen accidents.
I haven't
Car
seen accidents. I just jumped right into seeing people get hit.
Wow.
Been a part of a few.
It was scary.
Yeah, I can't say that. I don't think I've ever seen anybody get like hit or injured or really severely hurt. No. Huh.
Anyway.
In other news, Andy Serkis closes a deal to direct Venom 2. The actor turned filmmaker has set his sights on a comic book movie, and this is the one that he's going after. I do actually think I haven't looked up IMDb to see how many other movies that he's directed, but I can already appreciate that he knows characters and how to. I mean, some of the characters that he's played.
I mean, he is the master of bringing characters to life.
Oh, absolutely. And if anybody's going to be able to bring Venom more to life, I think it's going to be him. I will be kind of interested to see if they ever do, because it's a Sony property, so I'll be interested to see if they actually bring Spider-Man into the picture. I mean, because they can technically create their own.
They said that's their future plans, yes.
Yeah.
Well, and they can have Marvel help with that too, because their deal. I don't know if you guys knew this. I think we talked about it, but the Marvel Spider-Man agreement was contingent upon Far From Home making $1 billion, and it did. So, which is good. So now their agreement can still stand.
Yeah.
So Marvel can probably help out with anything Spider-Man related. Like they'll be able to use Tom Holland,
right?
But if that hadn't gone through, then they wouldn't have been able to.
So here's what he's directed. Like I said, Venom 2, Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle, The Ruins of Empires, and Breathe.
Okay, I've seen one of those.
I think he's been a second unit director on a few things. I think he did a little bit on Return of the King on Lord of the Rings. I think he directed a little bit there.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's been like a backup director for several projects.
So is Breathe a sequel to Don't Breathe?
I don't know. Maybe.
I doubt it. I was just making a joke. Sorry, guys. Anyway, what were you saying, AJ?
I was just gonna say that. I was just thinking it's always a difficult task to take on a sequel because everybody's like, oh, it's not as good as the first one, right? So for this to be his first picture that he's gonna be like I guess not first picture, but first comic book movie that he's gonna be leading the charge, it's kind of a daunting task.
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't know. I mean, but they did leave it open to where you've got a whole universe to work with.
Yeah.
But hopefully he's able to bring in some other characters from the whole Spider-Man universe that we haven't really seen on the big screen before.
Yeah, hopefully he does. Hopefully he brings in some more villains.
I feel like they've gone down this whole Venom and Carnage route. That's where they're gonna go with it.
I would assume.
I hope they can kind of steer away from that a little bit to make it bigger. Make the universe bigger.
And he can't give me sarcasm right now. I've only been up for a couple hours. It's still basically morning to me.
So Halloween's coming up in a few months.
Mm-hmm.
Less than 100 days away. But I mean,
that?
Who's counting?
AJ's like, it's 87 days, and
15 hours, 13 minutes, 12 seconds.
Well, this year, Target is rolling out a line of Halloween costumes for kids with disabilities. According to Fast Company, the brand recently launched an affordable line of adapted Halloween costumes that make it easier for kids with a range of disabilities to participate in the holiday festivities. Not only will the costumes fit the child, but some will even decorate their wheelchairs. There's a princess costume that comes with a carriage decal, which is it goes up to their faces. It's really cool looking. as well as a pirate costume that comes with a pirate ship that goes on the sides of the wheelchair.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So the line doesn't just take wheelchair disabilities into considerations. However, they also created a line of extra soft onesies with flat seams and no tags for children with autism and other sensory issues. The idea is to prevent irritation, which often comes in the form of zippers and rough fabrics.
So they've really given this some like thought and consideration.
Mm-hmm. And then some of them also come with a hidden opening in the front, so children with special needs who have medical equipment can access that from the abdomen, which is really neat, because a lot of the times you have to just rip it and sew the seam yourself to do that.
Yeah.
But they're going to be affordable too, probably just as affordable as regular costumes, varying from $20 to $45 for the onesie. But I don't think it says anything about the wheelchair stuff. But that's really cool.
That's really cool.
It is cool, but I'm honestly like
I hate disabled kids.
No. I think they're handy. No, what I was going to say.
Comments.
I was going to say I haven't gotten over the whole. I've never purchased a costume. I purchased like accessories to make a costume, and my mom's like, helped me make costumes for like different years growing up, but I never got one of these store-bought costumes.
Really?
And I was...
AJ's parents showered him with love and affection his whole life.
I know, right? Not just throw a couple bucks at you. No, but I'm just saying, like, it cheapens the whole experience.
You have
like,
parents who love you.
Okay, don't you appreciate people... Okay, being a comic, like having done cosplay quite a few times, right, Troy? Mm-hmm. Don't you appreciate it more and want others to appreciate your costume more if you've actually made it yourself?
Yeah, but that's like...
That is the idea of cosplay, yes, but...
That's also the idea
of... the major leagues of Halloween,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But for me, every time I've done cosplay, it's been something that I've store-bought, something that I found.
Well, see,
more or less.
I don't know. It's hard to justify building a costume for your kid that it's going to cost more money than buying something from the store. Like, it used to be...
But then it's a thing that you can do with your kids, in the upcoming month.
Oh, man, kids are so obnoxious. Like, who wants to spend time with them?
Plus, they change their minds so frequently, so you might as well wait up until the last week and then just like, oh, here you go.
Well, it's true. I mean, people built their Halloween costumes with their parents back in the day because that was the only option. Like,
yeah.
And that was back when moms knew how to use sewing machines. But
that's true.
I mean, I've thought about making costumes for my kids, but it's just so much work, especially now that I have 3 of them.
Ugh. Whose decision was that, Emily?
And then they're not going to fit in it next year. And nobody wants a hand-me-down.
That's true. See, it's just all...
I will say, though, that store-bought costumes have gone down in quality over the years, though.
Like as far as the material?
Yeah, material, just overall build quality. They're not that great. They fall apart like after a week.
But okay, so another holiday. What do you appreciate more? Heartfelt Valentine that like somebody has made for you, or like one of those store-bought ones?
It depends on who's giving it to me.
Right?
Yeah. Like, my mom always does homemade cards and stuff like that, and those are really important.
Good for you.
Well, my mom loves me.
To be honest, you can't buy sex coupon books at the store. So
wait, that's what your mom gave you? What?
Valentine's Day. Whose parents get them stuff for Valentine's Day?
Troy's like,
took a weird turn. Any road we go down there is just going to get more awkward, so...
We've never shied away from awkward.
Sex coupons. But as I was saying...
Yeah.
But if anybody else were to give me like a homemade card, well, that's cool, thanks.
Yeah.
My kids do it to me all the time. Right in the trash as soon as they go out the door.
yeah, we'll put it on the fridge.
Oh, that's sweet, honey. Out there, okay, bye. So,
I'm sorry, honey. There was a fire, and I only got your card.
Oh, that's such a nice drawing. What's it supposed to be? Raccoon or something?
No, the trick is to say you don't... Because if you ask them if it's this and this, and it's not, it's going to hurt their feelings.
Right.
Because they want it to be that. You just say, hey, tell me about your picture. Tell me Tell me the story.
Oh, man. Parenting 101 on today's podcast.
I actually did draw a pretty sweet picture of a dinosaur. I think I showed you guys.
You did, yeah.
Austin really wanted me to teach her how to do it. And I was like, I can't recreate this. So I pulled up Illustrator on my computer and I traced it and made it into a coloring book page that we can print out and she can just color it.
I can teach Austin how to draw dinosaurs.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
If she ever comes over.
That's true. Yeah. Don't remember the last time I've seen her. Okay. So we've talked about pretty much in length about how Disney pretty much owns everything.
Yeah,
at this
it's taking
point.
over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they also sponsor this podcast, so they own that too.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, they're going to, now that they own Fox, they are planning or have plans to reboot several of Fox's big properties. Including, here's the ones they're thinking about: Cheaper by the Dozen, Night at the Museum, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and Home Alone. Those are the franchises they're looking into.
Someone else is rebooting Home Alone, aren't they?
I don't think so.
Ryan Reynolds?
Stoned Alone.
Yeah. How could I have forgotten that?
Diary of a Wimpy Kid, didn't really care for him. It was past like my time. Just didn't get into it.
I saw the
You weren't
first.
a kid when Diary of a Wimpy Kid came out.
I saw the first
Diarrhea?
one. Diarrhea.
Diarrhea Wimpy Kid.
Oh.
Diarrhea Wimpy Kid.
That was my nickname in high school.
It's too bad. Yeah, I saw the first one. They've made like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I saw the first one because I was working in the theater at the time, so I could see it for free.
Does nobody have a creative bone in their body left anymore that they just have to reboot these franchises?
It's just, we're in this big nostalgia culture right now.
Yeah.
Eventually it'll die down and you know, they'll start working on more original ideas.
Well, they have to because if they want to put out more content.
Yeah. But I mean, Disney still has many, many more, animated features that they need to turn in live action.
Yeah.
Still waiting for that Pinocchio, which I'm sure is coming.
It's coming, Troy.
Yeah.
That one would be a dark movie if they did do that. Pinocchio.
It would be a dark movie.
Right?
Yeah.
That one scared the heck out of me as like a kid. That and also even Dumbo. That was when they turned, or no, which one was it? Was it Pinocchio that they got turned into donkeys?
Yeah.
And the guy like keeps them in cages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a terrifying movie. Looking back on it again. And the original story is also really terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, really unsettling. Speaking of which, that's Pinocchio right there. Right in the corner.
Oh, man. You made him?
No, that was my grandparents. They had that Pinocchio there for 50 years, maybe more. After they died,
his eyes just like follow me wherever I go.
Yeah, after they died, I inherited it. I hope it's not cursed.
It probably is. It's Annabelle. Pinocchio Annabelle.
Gonna wake up. It's gonna be standing right there in front of that doorway.
We're purposely gonna like sneak in here and like move it in different places just to terrify you. Yeah. Speaking of Disney, Guardians of the Galaxy star Dave Bautista goes off on this theater that wouldn't allow him entrance after the movie had already begun. It's this theater. I won't like name it to just shame it anymore, but like
no, you should name it because they're following the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flick's Brew House.
All right.
In Mexico or New Mexico. Yeah, as soon as the movie starts, they shut the doors and don't allow anybody else into the movie theater. You're allowed to exit, and he did have his handler.
Yeah.
That was along with him, went into the movie, and he was allowed to leave and then come back in and leave, but if you weren't in there when it initially started, they weren't letting you in.
Right.
And he just started like tweeting about this and going off on these guys for not allowing it. And okay, there's another side to this story, because like as much as I'd be like, wow, he's like way privileged and entitled and just annoying, he was also taking photos with the people that were working at the theater in the lobby. So that was his excuse for being a minute late.
Oh, I see. I see.
So I kind of wanted to get your guys' opinion to see, like, was he in the right? Was he in the wrong? You know?
Well, having worked at a theater, a couple of theaters, I would side with the theater on this one.
Yeah, they have a policy set in place.
Yeah, they have policy. They have rules. If you can't follow the rules, you can't abide. I understand he's out there taking pictures with people, but at a certain point, you gotta say, sorry guys, I gotta get in, catch the movie, catch me after, that sort of thing.
Well, I imagine with like the theater that you worked at, where when you walk in, you have to go around like the sides to get into the theater. Yeah. I imagine with these because it's like a smaller theater, that as soon as you open the doors, it's like the one that you worked at the Cinepoint.
Yeah.
Right? As soon as you open the doors, you flood light into everybody else that's watching the movie. Yes. And it distracts the heck out of you and takes you out of the movie experience. So that's kind of the theater that I'm thinking it was like, because I couldn't see them having it otherwise. Mm-hmm. That policy.
I get it from the theater standpoint. However, that's not very common for a movie theater. You know what I mean?
True. It's
like
not.
That kind of policy. So he probably just wasn't aware of it. Like, I mean, if we go into the Megaplex, you could show up an hour late to the movie and they'll still let you in.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's how the majority of movie theaters are all across the country.
I can't think of another theater that has a policy like this.
Like the Egyptian Theater. They do showings every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
They won't let you in while there's something playing. But, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I side with Dave on this one. Yeah, we're on a first name basis.
Yeah.
Especially considering he was taking pictures with the employees of the theater. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was like his reasoning for being late, is they were stopping him and holding him up. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, he would have, because it was only a minute that he was late, and they shut the doors and wouldn't let him in.
If it was just him taking pictures with patrons of the movie theater, I would say lock him out. But he was taking pictures with employees, like people that could be like, all right, we're going to override this policy because we were the ones holding you up.
Right.
Well, as like coming from the side of like the theater and having a movie star like this in your theater, I wouldn't care who it was that he was taking a picture with. You kind of like want that guy there because he's only going to sell more tickets, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess that's
like I was almost in a movie with Dave Bautista, but they wouldn't let him in.
I guess that's true.
I wish I would have seen or it would have said like what movie he was going to see, though. If it was his own.
Stuber.
Yeah.
That would have been really funny, actually. If it was like a red carpet event and they're like, sorry, you can't get in. He's like, I'm in the movie. You're all here because of me.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I don't know what I'd do in that case.
You know what he should have done? Busted down the door.
They probably
the door open.
Didn't know that he was even there because he was invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His movements are imperceptible.
There were actually, when I was working in Megaplex, I actually had a couple, like, I guess you would call them red carpet events.
Yeah.
A couple of the local, like, LDS filmmakers would hold their premieres down at the Megaplex down there.
Show them and then do like a meet and greet afterwards.
Yeah, Q&A and stuff. Also, the guy who did, the guy who did the Catfish movie.
The Catfish.
That's not ringing a bell to me.
No.
Well, that movie Catfish, where the guy's talking to the girl online, and turns out to be the girl's completely different. That's where that term comes from.
Yeah, catfishing. Yeah.
Yeah. He showed up once, just out of the blue. Showed up at our theater.
Did they kind of like cater to him?
No.
No?
No.
Probably not big enough to
Yeah, I mean, you guys didn't even know what movie I was talking about, so.
I honestly was thinking catfish, like the actual fish.
Oh, like some animated film?
Yeah.
Catfish?
Like, I don't know if I've ever... That'd be an awesome animated movie.
Be.
Yeah. And then it's like somebody else completely different. What?
It'd be like a catfish that wants to play jazz or something.
Yeah.
That would be so funny if that was the trailer for the movie. Like, the whole trailer is like about this movie called Catfish, and then they go, and then it's not even that.
It's something completely different.
Something completely different.
Yeah.
That would be
You just got catfished. Oh. And then, like, that'd be like those movies where you don't want to say anything and you let your friends go see the movie just so they can get catfished as well.
Yep.
No, this is what you do. The trailer is just like it's like a college party movie or whatever, and the lead character is female and she's like super hot, and that's what she is in the trailer, but in the actual movie she's replaced with someone who's not.
That would be funny.
That would be awesome.
It'd be like they'd have it be like Anna Kendrick, and then in the movie it's Rebel Wilson.
I'm depressed.
Troy's like, I just got
That
catfish.
would totally get Troy. Oh man.
Oh.
I would sit there for the whole movie just waiting. Like, where is she?
She was in the trailer. It says starring her.
That's totally something that they would do together too.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Oh yeah. They would do that.
What the heck? See, and this is a new movie, a new idea that nobody's thought of, right? New content, not going back to other stuff, Disney. Come on. Take note.
Oh man. So Disney will debut a new goth anti-princess this Halloween. But Shelley Marie, named for Frankenstein author Mary Shelley, is about as far from a typical Disney princess as you can get. For one thing, she's not really a princess. She's a regular preteen who idolizes Maleficent's shape-shifting more than Ariel's whimsical dreams of love. For another, she's not a character created for a movie or even a video game. She's an original character created specifically for a Disneyland theme park. That's very interesting that they're creating a character that's not going to be in any movie.
That is interesting.
Because the movies are what drive people to the parks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going to be the appeal? Why are people going to go see this person specifically?
I think there will be a lot of people that are huge fans of like Nightmare Before Christmas and more of the goth side of Disney.
I was gonna say it looks something straight out of like Tim Burton's imagination.
Right? Tim Burton-esque. There's going to be a lot of people that will just want that. Plus it feels a little bit more exclusive. So the merchandise that they do sell for it, it's kind of...
I got this at Disneyland.
Yeah. You have to go to the park to actually get these certain things.
That's true. And the Disney files, well, yeah, they'll want that stuff.
Right? I have like tons of different pins and all sorts of different merchandise.
So what I could see them doing is Disneyland has an amphitheater, right?
Yes.
They do showings like that?
Yeah.
They could have, it won't be a movie, but they could have this be a play with that character, Shelley Marie.
And it's very possible that's coming.
Do you think... Because this to me feels like Disney's attempt at a Harley Quinn, if that makes sense, where from the animated series, Harley Quinn, that's where she was created.
Yeah.
And then she became really big, now she's getting her own movie.
Yeah.
Is this gonna kind of potentially do the same thing where she'll become really big and really popular, that then you need a backstory, so then you need to create a movie for her?
I would think if she does become super popular,
yeah,
because it is Disney, that they will happily capitalize on it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because like you were saying, I don't remember another time where it was just a completely original character specifically made for the parks.
Yeah. No.
I don't think there is another character like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, and if they did do a movie, it would have to be Tim Burton. He's the only one that can give the Tim Burton feel.
Of course.
But then again, those movies take a long time to make.
It's also true.
They've been able to streamline them a little bit.
Maybe they came out with this idea, and they're really antsy to get it going, to get people driving to the park, and they have the movie in production, but nothing tangible yet to even have a preview.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That does seem like a Disney type thing to do, to have a spark of a good idea and run with it, and then worry about the details later.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. They were like, we're Disney. We can do whatever the heck we want.
That's what their shorts are for. Because didn't Up come from a Pixar short? Or there are some movies that were created from a Disney short. Like Frozen. Frozen was a short before it was a movie.
And so was Toy Story, basically. It kind of spun out from a little short they had called Tinny, the little toy soldier.
And that's grown into a huge, franchise in and of itself.
Yes, I mean, so there is precedent there of what Disney has a history of doing stuff like that. So,
yeah,
I think there's a plan with this character. I would bet.
Yeah, it can't be just that. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
So we don't do a whole lot of comic book news lately. So when I find something, I always want to throw it in. And Dan Didio, or Didio, depending on what you want to say, who was one of the co-publishers and former, was he an artist or a writer? I think he was a writer of DC Comics. He was talking recently in an interview, and he has concerns that the comic book business is kind of in a little bit of a rut. And this is what he says. He says, where my concern comes from is more about the over-reliance on nostalgia, spectacular marketing, variant covers, and a lot of things that seem to be driving numbers in sales to give the appearance of a healthy industry. But it's not built on the ongoing success of the individual titles in order to keep those numbers successful and maintained. If we're creating these artificial highs on a continual basis, if something pulls that apart, does it break that infrastructure overall? And how do we change these buying patterns in that fashion to build something that is more healthy business going forward? So he's basically saying, look, we have this over-reliance right now on these special events and these, like you're saying, variant covers and doing all these little gimmicks in order to buy comic book sales, or to raise comic book sales. So if those were to go away, would that hurt now the comic book industry? And to be perfectly honest, the comic book industry is kind of hanging on by a thread as is.
Yeah.
It's definitely not as popular as it used to be. And so I can definitely see where he's coming from. And I've been saying it for years. The comics have got to stop letting the movies dictate what they do.
Right.
It drives me nuts.
It's not sustainable because we go through different phases of, if they're superheroes or these different things are even popular.
Yeah. And they're handcuffing the creative people, the artists and the writers, especially the writers, on creating stories.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure Marvel has come down to the writers and said, okay, we have this character and this character and this character coming out in phase 4, phase 5. We need to push these characters.
Yeah. And it also has to fit within what they're creating with their stories, right? I mean, so they have to be a little bit in on the know of what direction they're going, so that they don't step out of line or have the character do something that's out of character.
Yeah. I mean, back in, the early 90s, Wolverine was in like every comic book because he'd become the big popular character.
Yeah.
Just because of, his people reading comics and really liking that character. And now all of a sudden, he's taking a back seat. Now it's Iron Man. Iron Man is everywhere.
Yeah.
Simply because of the movies. And so the writers now have to come up with new Iron Man stories and how to shoehorn him into other comic books. And so I totally get where he's coming from.
And too many of these different little gimmicks. I get that it'll sell comics for that week, but it's not going to last that long. And if everything is like special or different variants and stuff, you're not going to like really draw in enough people to keep it working.
And for me, I never cared about the covers. If it was a good story, it was a good story. I don't care if it was a variant cover or not. It didn't matter to me. Or if it was a blank comic book cover that I could draw a character on the front that they do now. It's like, I don't care. Yeah.
I look for a couple of different things when I'm going to buy a comic. I'm looking for like a really good, solid story, and I'm looking for decent artwork.
Yeah.
And yeah, everything else, whatever. I don't know. You've been following, Troy, the Arrowverse.
Oh, yes.
More so than us.
Yeah.
But have you been hearing a lot of talk about Crisis on Infinite Earths?
Mm-hmm.
With it coming up, they've actually cast quite a few people, but one in particular, they've decided to cast Mark Hamill as the Joker, along with Kevin Conroy to be Batman. This has so much potential.
I'm hoping it's not a rumor, because there's been a lot of rumors floating around. Like they said they were bringing back Michael Rosenbaum for Lex Luthor.
Right.
And he went on his Twitter and said, I know nothing about this. I haven't been contacted.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that this isn't just another rumor. Because it'd be cool now that we have, Kevin Conroy is going to be playing Bruce Wayne.
Right.
It'd be cool then to have, the flip side of that and have Mark Hamill as the Joker.
These guys play off of each other so well that it would... I mean, they've worked with each other on so many different, like, DC animated movies and everything.
But people are getting really excited about this because, like, Burt Ward, the original Robin, is coming, and
Adam... Oh, no, never mind.
So this is based on... Like, this is in the Arrow universe, then?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's interesting to me, and the only reason why I would think that this is a rumor is because Mark Hamill has already played a character in the Arrowverse.
He has.
Yeah, he plays the bomb, or whatever that guy...
Plays the...
Trickster. Trickster, yeah.
Which is a character he played on the 90s Flash TV series. So he kind of brought that character back, and it was kind of a cool thing. Anyway.
Yeah.
But the thing that DC always does is with because they have infinite Earths, that you could have
someone being someone else.
Yeah, the same person playing different characters. Gotcha. Yeah. And DC's always been about that. So,
oh yeah.
If they do decide to do it, hopefully that it'd be cool. But having watched all these other crossover events, I can tell you that if they are going to be on here, they will not be on it for long.
Just for that episode, or just for a couple?
If not the whole episode, a little
like
guest
a 3-part
spot
series, or not even a full episode. Gotcha.
A little guest spot, and that's it.
Okay.
Because last crossover event, they're hyping up Batwoman, Ruby Rose's Batwoman, and she was in one episode, and that was it. And it covers all their shows, so it's an ongoing story that lasts 4 or 5 episodes.
Right.
So chances are that's what's going to happen. You're going to see the guest star for a little bit, and that'll be it.
I thoroughly enjoyed the DC animated movie that they did of this Infinite Earth. That was fantastic. That was like one of my favorites, like easily top 3. And even like I followed the comics for quite some time with this like story arc, but I don't know. I feel like I'm too far behind with trying to play catch up with all these other shows. Are you able to just like, if you hadn't been like watching them religiously, would you be able to just jump in? No,
because there are so many characters at this point.
Okay.
With Arrow and the Flash and Legends of Tomorrow, and now they're gonna throw in Batwoman, Supergirl. Yeah, it'd be. It's not. It wouldn't be impossible because the story is kind of a contained one-off story.
Yeah.
But if you don't know who these characters are you really going to care that much?
You won't have as much of an invested interest in them.
Yeah, I mean, you know who Arrow is, and you know who the Flash is. And
yeah. I mean, kinda. A little bit.
But like Citizen Steel on Legends of Tomorrow, or these other characters, most people don't even know who they are.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. That ends that. So let's get to some of the movies that we've seen, some of the reviews.
I only got a chance to see one this week. Let me pull it up. Thought I had it pulled up.
Do you want me to tell you the name of it?
No. I was pulling up the actual cast, but scary stories to tell in the dark. This is the newest Del Toro film, and it actually, the cast is a lot of like lesser known and unknown stars. The only person that I really recognized was Dean North, and that was because he was from Breaking Bad. He played Walter White's brother-in-law, the bigger dude.
Yeah.
For the most part, these were unknown kids.
That's pretty common for like scary films, though.
Right.
Have a lesser known cast.
True. That way you kind of buy the story a bit more if you don't know the actors.
This movie, so you have this group of kids that are 3 of them that are initially friends, and they decide to they're running away from a bully, and they meet up with another boy and decide to go to a haunted house. And while they're at this haunted house, they are telling about this story about this girl who was stuck down in the basement and told kids these scary stories. And then she actually wrote them down, but she used children's blood in order to write these stories. And they come across this book and decided, oh, it's a good idea. Let's take it home. Let's just pocket this. And
as you do.
Yeah. And then that's when the blood hits the fan. The story, like, it's kind of interesting because it gives you the title of the story, and then it proceeds to write it. And the girl even tried to like rip that page, but it just continued on to the next page. She ripped the next page and it continued again.
Yeah.
And so this story was going to be told whether they liked it or not. They did go back and use the one story I know for a fact that they had in the original book was the toe. Where's my toe? Where the boy eats the soup with a toe in it. And then he's chased around by this woman that doesn't have it, like this zombie-esque creature that doesn't have a toe, and like saying like chillingly like, "Where's my toe?"
Yeah. Well, and I think all the other stories are in the books as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They stayed pretty true to the source material.
Like the red spot.
Ugh. Okay. I can't watch those videos. Do you guys ever watch those like zit videos on YouTube? You can watch those, Troy?
Yeah, I can watch them.
What the heck? Colton?
No.
Dude, no. I could watch like a football player or like an athlete or something break a leg or have some horrible injury happen to them, but those zit popping, like they're like the world's largest zit. You
just imagine the smell.
Like, yeah, I can't watch those kind of videos. That one was pretty brutal to watch, but for the most part, it would start telling a story, and they were so cheesy and campy, and they weren't like, there was only a couple of jump scares, but for the most part, Del Toro just had them build up to it, where the only one that was like somewhat interesting was this blob-esque creature that keeps getting closer and closer to the kid, but then every hallway that he turns down, the blob starts getting appears there, and then he turns to his left and the blob's there, and it just keeps moving in and closing in on him until it like finally absorbs him. And even the ending was pretty cheesy. And it's weird because, like, I looked at Rotten Tomatoes and I saw that they were at 81%. And even the fan scores was at 79. And they're talking about it being, like, a fresh, new movie. And everybody's just like, yeah, if you like these old, original, kind of scary movies. Which half my collection of movies that I've got are scary movies. So yeah. I can appreciate a good scary movie. But this was by the numbers, straightforward, somewhat suspenseful, but it wasn't all that great.
Yeah. Well, it seemed like the visuals looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised to not see Doug Jones be playing one of these characters in there. I thought for sure he'd be in the mix because he does such a fantastic job with actually bringing them to life.
So my thought is, if we went back and read those books, are they as scary as we remember?
No. No, it's like that old, the tale about the guy with the hook for an arm, or all these other, like, this had so much potential because they're kind of cheesy, campy stories, but you could PG-13 them up and make them a little bit more like intense. And they really missed an opportunity with this. There was one in particular, I forget the name of it, where he calls out his name, and he's basically this creature. That was probably the creepiest one. Is his body parts formed together, and then he formed a whole person and kept chasing after this one boy. But even that kind of looked hokey. And I was thinking, well, I mean, I was trying to find some things to appreciate about it, and I was like, well, maybe I'm about at a 2.5, out of body limbs, out of 5 body limbs. I was like, well, maybe I'll be at a 2.5. I'm like, no, I can't even justify, because I've given decent movies a 2.5, because that's right in the middle.
Yeah.
This I'm at maybe a 2, it's barely at a 2, which is kind of unfortunate, but yeah.
So, I guess maybe then those books are scarier than we remember because of the illustrations. Yeah, that front cover was pretty gnarly because they had a couple of different variants. Yeah. And the illustrations on the inside too were really freaky.
Yeah.
So what it's sounding like then is it's like the book. The visuals are kind of creepy, but the story itself is just meh.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. That's pretty accurate, yeah.
Interesting.
Because they do have a couple of those books. They definitely did set it up for another.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
All right.
So back in 2013, I went to go see this movie with my mom. She had picked it out.
14.
It was 2014? Okay, yeah, 2014. Same difference.
Potato.
I was in 14th grade.
14th grade.
That's just a joke.
Oh, okay.
Anyways,
gotcha.
So the primary person that I saw movies with back then was my mom. She would always pick them, and then I'd just go see them with her. But we were really excited about this one because it was Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
And he's a phenomenal actor, so I was like, this movie can't be bad.
Yeah.
But it was Nightcrawler. And when we left the theater, I just didn't have a good feeling. I just didn't like the movie for some reason. Just maybe too young to appreciate it. But this weekend, we were watching a TV show, and there was an actor on it who looked like Jake Gyllenhaal. So we were like, man, I want to watch a Jake Gyllenhaal movie. So we go and we watched 20 trailers for movies with Jake Gyllenhaal in them, and we landed on Nightcrawler. I was like, I'll give it another shot. I'm older now, much more wise. And I really liked the movie. I don't think that back then I was really mature enough to appreciate how the movie was shot, the character development, just the higher level parts of filmmaking.
Yeah.
That I just was too young to like back then. But it was such a good movie.
They seriously put on a clinic as far as the filming of that movie goes. That was fantastic. You felt like you were there with him in some of those scenes. That one scene in particular where he's dragging that dude out and kind of
he stands to the side and he's like, this shot doesn't look as good. Let me see what I can do. Yeah. And then he drags that guy's body back more into the frame and then walks through.
He kind of goes from a complete wimp kind of kid that gets pushed around to this dark character. It's great.
He's incredibly smart, and I honestly don't know why it took him so long in his life to become successful, because he just absorbs knowledge like crazy. I don't know, maybe people just didn't like him because he was kind of a weirdo. But yeah, and he just evolves into this incredibly savvy guy in this industry because he's manipulating things and cutting brake lines so that his competitors die in fiery crashes and stuff. But
then at the very end where he has a whole team.
Oh yeah.
It's that's dark. All right.
But yeah, gosh, it was a really good movie. It's a messed up movie, but it's really good.
It is really good.
I just like Jake Gyllenhaal.
Dude, I was going back and like you said, reading all these different trailers. Some of my favorite movies that he's been in, I really liked him in Prisoners.
Prisoners, yeah, great.
And that was a great. Donnie Darko. End of Watch, I actually thought was pretty underrated.
Yeah,
I really like that one.
I just watched Zodiac with him in it.
Yeah.
Him and Robert Downey Jr.
It was probably going to be and it came down to deciding was between Prisoners, Nightcrawler, and Zodiac. And then I was actually surprised that Emily chose Nightcrawler. I thought she was going to choose Prisoners for sure. And then End of Watch was one that I wanted to watch again.
End of Watch is really good.
Such a good movie.
If you haven't had a chance and you really liked this one, you'll have to also check out Nocturnal Animals. He's in this movie. He's a he writes a story about his ex-wife that he had as if they had continued to have a future, but it's this story because she's reading it and then she becomes because it's about her as the main, one of the main characters, but there's this one scene right from the get-go that I seriously had to stop watching the movie for a minute because it was getting pretty real. This father, he's in the car with his daughter and his wife, and they're driving along, and these guys kind of start getting pretty close to them and riding their bumper, and so he speeds up, and then they speed up, and then he slows back down, and then they threaten and get him basically to pull over. Then because he ends up getting a flat tire. So then he's changing his tire, and then they get his daughter and his wife in the other car, and they're like, no, you're going to ride with us, so we can keep you safe. But then they veer off a different direction, and I'm just oh man, had that been I've put myself in, I guess when I was watching it was pretty late at night, but I put myself in that, and I was just I don't know, it's a dark movie.
Really got to you?
Yeah, it really got to me. It's a good one though. He's done quite okay. Prince of Persia though, that one was horrible.
Yeah,
I love the video games, but that one was bad.
Every actor has those duds in there.
It seems like he's very selective about the movies that he's in.
October Sky,
for a good reason.
That one's really good.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very serious actor.
He is.
But I mean, Marvel asks you if you want to play Mysterio, you don't say no.
Yeah. Which he even did a fantastic job with, relating to, Spider-Man or Peter Parker. It felt more realistic, kind of like what we talked about before, where he was that uncle, the cool uncle.
I think that he's seriously one of the most underrated actors out there.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because he's not when you think of big superstars, you don't think of Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
But, gosh, he's just so good.
Yeah, he's one of those actors where everything he's in, you're just he's really good.
And it's weird because a lot of the times you forget. Yeah, I was gonna say that you kind of forget that they're really good, and then you see them and they're like, oh yeah, well why haven't I been watching their movies and following them closer?
Because he doesn't make movies very often.
No. He's definitely the more talented of the Gyllenhaal actor
and better looking.
Old Bastard Hound eyes. We talked about last week.
Callback.
Nice.
Let's go right
full circle.
Okay. So are there... I know we're talking about Jake Gyllenhaal movies, but are there other movies that you didn't like, say as you watched as a kid, but gone back and watched them and realized that they were actually really good? See, for me... I never liked old films as a kid.
Yeah.
Films made in the 50s and 60s and that sort of stuff. But going back and watching them now, those become some of my favorite films.
Mm-hmm. You became old enough to appreciate them ironically, but also appreciate them on a real level.
Yes. like the movie 12 Angry Men is an incredible film, but as a kid, that's not something you would like because it takes place in one room. The entire film takes place in one room.
Yeah. With
these 12 jurors trying to discuss the fate of this kid, whether they were going to, guilty or not guilty. And it's fascinating. It's a fascinating movie. But it's not something that you would appreciate unless you were older and yeah.
I feel like I would like that movie, but except for the fact that it's in one room the whole time, I can't stand phone booth.
Really?
Movies? No, I have to have.
Really?
I have to have movement. I can't.
I liked Phone Booth.
Same here. I also liked that one movie. I think it was Tom Hardy, Lock, where he's driving in the car the entire time.
Yeah. So I do like the movie Phone Booth. That's probably.
But you're talking about that genre.
Yeah. Is it called Phone Booth? Because that's kind of just what I've called it. I call it the Phone Booth.
We can call it that
because that's what that movie does.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other movies that are like that I actually liked. Devil. That, for the most part, was filmed in an elevator. That was kind of a cool twist.
Buried. I think it's called Buried with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
That movie was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes a very talented actor or actress to be able to, hold an audience captive for that long in one room.
And director.
Yeah. Oh, wow. For sure.
Because, you can't just hold the camera on one spot and just go. You got to keep making it interesting and... Yeah.
I'm sure building suspense in that type of phone booth thing is really hard to do.
Would be difficult, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Okay. So, here's where you can find us. You can listen to all of our episodes at worldwarg.podbean.com. We're on iTunes, Google Play, and cosmicpotato.com. On social media, we're at facebook.com/worldwargpodcast. We're on Twitter and Instagram. Just search at WWG Podcast. You can find all of our merchandise at shop.spreadshirt.com/WorldWarG. You can also email us anytime.
Day or night.
At worldwgpodcast@gmail.com. And remember, you can always call or text the show on Joel's line at 385-240-1692. And I just remembered that he called this week, and I forgot to put his call through. Sorry, Joel. Maybe we'll talk about it in the post-credit scene. So this has been World War G episode 230. That has been AJ.
That has been Troy.
And I've been Colton.
Stay geeky, my friends. And welcome to the post-credit scene. Okay, so here's Joel's message. Sorry, next time you call Joel, I'll feed it through the computer so you can hear it better, but here it is. Hopefully you can hear this.
Hey guys, it's Joel, I had a quick question for you guys to discuss. With the whole Batman community and DC community are freaking out about Robert Pattinson being Batman, which, by the way, I've never heard it been said Pattinson, like Batfleck. Should be. Anyways, with the whole Pattinson and Batfleck casting issues, who do you guys think would be the best choice to put, not that you can appease all DC fans, who would you pick as a young Batman, kind of starting off, and then an old grizzled Batman, more, retiring on his way out type of a Batman. I think what they were trying to do with Batfleck. So anyway, to appease the most people, get the less petitions signed, who would you want to be the young Batman, 20s, and then old Batman, 40s, 50s or so. All right. Thanks, guys.
So there you go. What would we cast?
As the old and new Batman?
That would appease the most fans. I have an idea for the old.
Oh, Michael Keaton, dude.
Keaton.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. How do you not like that? I mean, that would work perfectly. We got like a glimpse at how good of a job he could do when he played a villain, in Spider-Man.
Yep. As far as young Batman goes...
How young are we talking?
Tom Holland. That's who I go.
Yeah, like early to mid 20s.
Okay.
I want a movie about Batman going through the training. Like, the true origins, not like some Batman...
Batman Begins, they kind of did that.
Batman Begins did that a little bit.
Just a tiny bit, though. Like, I want a whole movie about it, not... You know what I mean?
A couple of different events, that a Slumdog Millionaire kind of thing, where you see these different defining moments in his life that shaped how his training went, or...
You know what would be really cool is it's a movie that's about a guy who goes into the mountains and trains with these monks to learn how to fight. And you don't find out that it's a Batman movie until the very end when he goes back to Gotham. That would be cool. Really cool.
Although then at the same time it'd feel a little bit like the way that they've shoehorned some characters in, you know, and just turned them into, you know what I mean, the big reveal at the end. If they did it for a couple of minutes rather than just saying like, "Hey, Bruce, you know, are you coming back to Gotham?" and that was the end of the movie, I would be kind of pissed off about that. But if they gave it a little bit more time, you know, a couple of minutes at least to actually like let you know who he is.
Well, and see, I think it would be pretty successful as like not having a sequel, like as a standalone movie. Like, this is all we're gonna do. We just wanted to show a cool movie about him training to become, and you can get away with that with the DC universe specifically because they have so many different timelines. And
you need to read Batman Year One, dude. Like that one's a great comic for that.
Or watch the animated
movie. Yeah. It does just that, like, sets up Batman. Well, you see him bumble and fall and, you know, not have these, like, great Batman moments, and it's totally worth it.
But, I mean, back to the casting, I don't know. I mean, because you get a younger actor, no matter who it is, people are going to be upset.
Can you have one that was like a child star that kind of moved up through the ranks so you at least have more of a filmography for them?
I don't know.
You could do someone like...
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
You could do someone like Styles from Teen Wolf. What's his name? You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Runner.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch Riverdale? The kid that plays... Archie, yeah.
I just threw that out there.
That was actually spot on. I think
he'd be a decent Batman, right? I think he's kind of got that look.
Yeah. I was just trying to think of like stars that have been around for a little bit that you could actually see play Batman.
That kid. What is that kid's name? Is his name Logan?
Ooh, you know who would actually be a pretty good Batman? Colton Haynes. He plays,
he's in Arrow.
He's in Arrow, yeah.
Yeah, he plays Arsenal in Arrow. Yeah, he'd be a pretty good Batman.
He's got the build for it.
Yeah. Some people be upset because he's gay in real life, but...
Yeah.
A gay Batman!
Colton. I take offense.
Colton Haynes would be good.
Who would be his love interest if it were to be a gay Batman?
If they made a gay Batman, the world would go up in arms. I'm just saying. I don't care.
Yeah.
It would not be a successful movie.
I'm just trying to think going down that route.
A womanizer, like that's part of his thing. There's no term for a manizer. I'm just saying people would
he has like he has a huge crush on like the Joker or or Mr. Freeze or something.
That's true. You kind of have to take that into account when you're making a movie about Batman, who's probably going to be kissing some girls in the movie.
Yeah.
So a gay actor's probably not going to want to do that.
If they're good, if they're a good enough actor, it doesn't.
Paid enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's like the guy who plays Lucifer, and The guy who's in White Collar.
What about Neil Patrick Harris?
Yeah.
Right?
Going back to Frasier, Niles Crane, David Hyde Pierce, and his dad, John Mahoney. Both those, they were both gay.
Huh. No, I'm just thinking because Neil Patrick Harris in How I Met Your Mother was like the biggest womanizer out there.
Yeah. Yep. So anyway, we are going to be going to FanX.
Yes.
As press. We have our press badges, which means it's not a FanX I didn't pay for that I'm going to.
It's always a win.
Yeah. I think I've only paid for FanX or any of those conventions once.
Well, like, how much is a 3-day pass?
Well, if you just get the normal
so
tier,
it's like, I think it's like 30 for the first 2 days and 40 for the...
something like that, yeah.
Right?
So it's like...
about $100.
$100 altogether?
Right.
But then if you move up to gold or VIP...
it can get pretty pricey.
It can get really expensive, yeah. I remember...
What tier is the press pass akin to? The standard or?
There's nothing really close to it because you're able to stand up while they're like the celebrities talking and walk right up there and take pictures.
Yeah, it is kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
Like we could do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, like they could.
I wouldn't want to do that.
You're just walking up, taking pictures.
Yeah, because
like,
I've done
flash
that.
the badge.
I've done that in the past, and you do feel pretty important, I gotta say.
The power.
What we should do then, if you do get to the Jess and me thing, we should definitely get closer and get some real close-ups.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the zoomed video that we had last year.
Because like, here's what I'm thinking.
I think I was on that video. I was on I was on the first row.
Yeah. And that was cool. Exactly. Jess Harnell shared our video.
Yeah.
It's the video that he shared with everybody. So that was cool. But what I was thinking, you have a pretty decent camera that we've used before.
Yeah.
So I was thinking you could be our camera guy. And then AJ, you can...
I'm the handler.
You can finagle us to get up to the tables.
Oh, for sure.
Because you're good with that.
And Troy's always got like a million questions for him.
Then I can do interviews and it'll kind of be our
Although if it's a
roles.
Celebrity that I really like,
oh, sure.
I'm gonna interview the heck out of him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to... I still don't have one, but I should get a World War G shirt so that we can all rep the same shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Matchy.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Kind of, yeah.
Look more official.
Yeah. Rep the brand. Gotta be on brand.
How are we going to make this year, just thinking out loud here, how are we going to make this year different? Because we've gone to FanX and Comic-Con quite a few times, right?
Yes.
How do you make this experience new and fresh? Because for the most part, it's panels, art alley, and celebrities, right? I mean, there's quite a few other things to see there, but I'm just kind of like throwing that out there. How do we kind of make this experience new?
I've gone to FanX one time, and I went for that one day, and I was only there for like 4 hours. So this year I plan on going all 3 days. I'm not going to take time off of work or anything.
And Troy, you don't have to.
Yeah, I don't have to.
Maybe I will. Who knows? The world is my oyster. I definitely want to attend panels. They haven't posted what the panels are going to be this year yet, but Tom Holland's going to be there.
Yep.
That's going to be a huge one.
That is really big.
Yes, people are very excited about that.
Can you imagine? I can't even imagine how much they had to spend to get him. Like, because I was talking to somebody at about Ogden Con, and to even get some of the other celebrities there, it was like close to about like 30 to 40,000, and they weren't even like big name celebrities.
Well, and to get a photo op with him, with Tom Holland, is $250.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Isn't that more than Stan Lee was?
I think so.
Yeah, because I know Stan Lee to get an autograph is like $90.
Yeah, and that's just the photo op. That's not the autograph.
Yeah.
The autographs, I don't remember how much it was. It was pretty close.
I would feel so bad, like, asking my fans to pay that much money for my autograph.
Yeah.
Like, if I was sitting up there, I mean, I know it kind of, like, gets to your head and you get used to, like, the fame and notoriety, but I would still feel, like, horrible seeing them, like, fork out, you know, their last a couple $100 to get a picture with me.
I don't know. I think I've looked at it from more of the celebrity side. Like, they probably don't enjoy being there. You know what I mean? Like,
I think some do.
If you have millions of dollars and you could be doing anything you want, and you are at this Comic-Con because you signed a contract or something.
Well, you agreed upon, like, a certain amount of money, though, like, initially, and then...
They're paid to be there?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're not just doing it just for
They're charging $250.
No, dude, like, seriously, they probably paid like $100,000 to get him here initially, and then anything else, that's like icing on the cake. I mean, the con does get money back. That's how they make their money. But yeah. And also through ticket sales, you know, and through their vendors and everything else. They're making their money back for sure.
Yeah, like when you go up to the table and you give them their money and they put the money into that little pouch and stuff, that money goes to them. I'm sure some of it goes to like maybe like their handler or whatever.
Yeah.
But the majority of it goes to them.
And up on top of, you know.
They didn't make enough money.
I like how you like did a 180 right here.
But
that's them and their dog.
But I mean, like I said, that's why voice actors are the best, because they genuinely want to be there and they love to be there.
Oh, for sure. And their prices are a heck of a lot cheaper.
Yes.
You know, if you want to, like, and half the time they'll just, you know, they'll be signing something and like, yeah, sure, I'll take a picture with you for free, you know. It's great.
Yeah, and they don't care if you buy anything or not. They just want to talk. They just want to talk to you.
I mean, that's what they like doing.
Yep.
Talking.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it should be fun. But what you're saying make this year different. I mean, I think it's about getting as much content as we can.
Yeah.
Maybe taking part of the day, or maybe take a whole day just to be at the con and not have to worry about getting pictures or whatever. I mean, if that's what you want to do. But I think for the most part, if we're there and we're pressed, we got to get as much content as we can.
And then sprinkle it throughout, you know, the 6 months to hold people over for the next con. Because
when I filled out the press application, one of the requirements was if we had covered the press before or the event before, to post links to the stuff we've done in the past. So I think the better content we get, the better chances we have going back in the future.
Plus, if we do put it out like quicker, then they're more apt to actually like, you know, use our videos, or people, you know, they want to see that. It's like whoever puts it out there first.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I'm sure like even just for people with the press passes, there are different levels of press too.
There are.
You know what I mean, like people that have a good reputation with the convention, and we're probably low tier, don't really interact with it.
Yeah, in the press world, yeah, we're
I like to feel like I think we're one step up from base, yeah, and then right below like radio.
Well, I will say that on the press application, they did talk about specifically about how if you are an online presence, that press badges can be extremely limited.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So the fact that we got 3, pretty good.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Probably just because of the timing too. I mean, you got it.
I think so.
A month in advance.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I got in right the right time. Nice. So should be good. Should be fun. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for listening every week, as usual. We keep getting that small core group that listens every week. So
thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. All right.
I'm just kidding.
You'll hear us next week.